Hey guys, I wanted to do a review over Black Panther. I saw it over the weekend. I saw it on, well, Friday. Does Friday count as weekend? Whatever, it counts. They count it in the math for the money, so it counts. Yeah, sorry I have not been able to like put this video up. I got into a little accident, like burned my whole arm. So yeah, look at that. Anyway, I'm not gonna gross y'all out, but yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, just in case any of you are asking. But yeah, I didn't have time to film a reaction and film a video, so it's Sunday now, and I'm, well, finally able to film, so thanks for watching. Let's get into it. I am so amazed by this movie for so many reasons, not just because of the hype, which I do think the hype is real, and if you don't think it is real, you need to go watch the movie for yourself and have your own opinion about it. Going into this, I just want to talk about going into this. I have been invested in a Black Panther movie for a long time now, and I was so excited to see him show up in Captain America Civil War. I thought that Chadwick Boseman was a perfect actor to play T'Challa because he's such a... T'Challa embodies such a calm demeanor, but also he's a warrior. So I think that Chadwick Boseman has that appeal where he looks like he is calm and he's dignified, but he's still a warrior at heart. And the movie follows his journey becoming king and also balancing being the Black Panther. It's directed by Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler directed Creed. And that's one of the best things about this movie is that it's so well directed, you guys. It's so well directed. The fight choreography, the scenes where you actually see these characters go into battle was so well laid out, and the costume design was amazing. I truly feel like I was there. I was there in Africa. I was there in Wakanda with these characters. One thing I did love too was the music. It personified the whole experience as well. It immersed you in Wakandan culture because it had moments of traditional African drums, but it also had a Western mix with it too. What's cool about Wakanda though is that in the comics and also in the movie, it is pretty much the only place that you can find vibranium, but because they have so much of it, they have been able to create all forms of technology. They are completely advanced. They are an advanced civilization because they have this resource and they've been able to use it to their advantage over all these years, these thousands of years. So they have technology that we've never seen before in the MCU. Black Panther himself, he says, when they're flying into Wakanda, he says, I never get tired of this, or this never gets tiring. And you're flying into the city and it's just beautiful. One of the things I truly loved about the movie was actually the ceremony where T'Challa becomes king. And you see all the different tribes of Wakanda. And it's not just one Wakanda. Wakanda is a country, so there are different tribes in Wakanda. You have the river people, you have the mountain people, and you have all types of people, and they have their different tribes. But they're all underneath the Wakandan banner, and they share the same king. So when they are going to Wakanda's ceremony, it's so beautiful to see all of them like on their boats celebrating, you know, the ceremonies. They're just like, it was just amazing to see. It's so, I was like brought to tears. I was watching this movie crying because of how much they celebrated the culture and how much the culture was respected in that sense. And I really think that this movie does a good job by separating itself from other MCU movies where it's not just a superhero movie. It's not about that. This movie kind of reminded me of Lion King in the sense that this is more about someone coming into their own and having to deal with lies and having to deal with the consequences of their father and what do you do whenever you've been lied to all this time. And so that brings me into the character of Killmonger. Eric Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, who did such a good job, you guys. He did such a good job. It was so heartbreaking. I think that this was the first time I felt like Marvel, they cracked it. They cracked cracked the code. They made a good Marvel villain that made me feel for the character, made me sympathize with the character. And that was one of the best aspects of this movie. You sympathize, you truly, truly sympathize with the villain, and you can hate him at the same time because you don't want to see him succeed, but you understand his ideology, you understand where he's coming from because of how he was raised and all the things he had to go through. And the fact that, you know, he does feel like he has a right to this throne. He feels indefinitely like he has a right to this world because he does. And it's not his fault that his father was killed. It's not his fault that he grew up in America. I thought that was so interesting to see how he comes to Wakanda and he wants to use Wakanda's resources to save the people in America, specifically people of color, specifically black people, because, you know, just turn on the news, read a paper, go online. Things have been very tumultuous. Things have not been great. America was built on the oppression of people of color, specifically the oppression of black people. And I love that this movie comments on this, and it comments on it through Killmonger's character and how he wants to help people of color. He wants to help the people that are still being discriminated against. And I think that's such an interesting topic to talk about because we've never seen that in a Marvel villain before. And the only villain I can say that mirrors Killmonger's ideology I would say Magneto, because Magneto, as a Jewish man who grew up in World War II and experienced the concentration camps and the Holocaust for himself, lost all his family, has that same fear. I when I was watching it, I was like, man, I'm getting Magneto vibes. But I think that what succeeded in Killmonger's character and not so much in Magneto's character is that he doesn't have powers. He had to achieve everything that he achieved on his own fruition. He graduated from high school early. He went to the army, the military. He fought his way to the position that he is in. Magneto was a mutant, so he did have an advantage. So that's the only difference, I would say. One of the major themes I loved about this movie was tradition versus innovation, and you definitely see that in the ideologies of Killmonger and T'Challa in Black Panther. T'Challa wants to preserve the tradition of Wakanda. He wants to protect Wakanda from the outside world, while Eric Killmonger wants to share the innovations of Wakanda with the world. So it's such an interesting contrast between the two characters. And I love the segment at the beginning. The movie opens with a beautiful story about how Wakanda first received vibranium. And it was from this meteor that fell to Wakanda. And the thing is that I love the commentary that Wakanda succeeded while the rest of the world continued to fall under chaos. And they purposefully hid themselves from the world because they didn't want outside man to take their resources and use it in war and continue to colonize. So I really love the idea that they're so advanced because they didn't allow colonizers to come to their world. And that's so... We've never seen that. We've never seen that in a film where we actually call out the fact that a lot of these countries did have their own traditions. They did have their own cultures and did have their own technologies. And it was colonialism that actually ruined that progress that they would have achieved. So I really love that commentary on it. Another thing I really loved about this movie were the female characters. I don't think that you will ever watch a Marvel movie or a movie in general that's going to treat female characters the way that this movie treated them. These characters were so realized. And there's a particular scene that I really love, and it's between Okoye and Nakia. And this is after Killmonger already achieved the throne, and Nakia is trying to escape. She goes to Okoye asking for her to help her to leave, and so that they can fight another day, so they can pretty much usurp her the throne. And just in that one scene, it provides who these characters are. Okoye would do anything for the throne. That's her ideological belief. And Nakia will do anything to survive. And you see it in the film too. Nakia is a spy, and Okoye is a general of the Dora Milaje. But in that one scene, although it was about a man, the conversation was about a man, it was so much more than that. It showed who they were as characters and what their beliefs were. And I don't think that we actually see that in many films where we see what characters' beliefs are, specifically female characters. So I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was beautifully done. And I loved seeing how they worked with each other. I loved seeing how Koye and Nakia, because they're such contrasting characters, one represents tradition, one represents innovation, and I loved seeing them work together. You know, Nakia was a spy, so she had to figure out how to survive. She had to figure out what she had to do, and she'll use any weapon. You know, you see her use her shoe to attack people. And Okoye is very different. She isn't as innovative. She's more a traditional character. So she uses a traditional weapon like a staff, and she does it amazingly. You know, she truly, truly believes in the throne, and she believes in Wakanda. And I loved how those characters truly worked together and interacted throughout the movie. Another character that I think deserves all the praise she's getting is Shuri. I think Latita Wright plays her. Shuri was such a great character. Another thing I'd never seen before in a Marvel movie. Really dynamic and well constructed sibling relationship. You know, she's the younger sister of T'Challa, and she's only 16 years old, and she has been able to achieve technological advances that Tony Stark hasn't even achieved. She's the reason why Black Panther has the Panther suit. She's the reason why Wakanda is succeeding so well, and she's creating all the technology for them to have. That is so cool. That is so cool to see a 16-year-old achieve, specifically a woman of color. And it was so amazing to see them interact with each other, and how, you know, you see in the trailer, you see them, you know, you do the classic like handshake, but it's more than that. There's moments where, you know, she's got to save him and help him out on his mission, or there's moments where she's about to be attacked by Killmonger and he'll do anything for her. He sees that and he's literally like, oh no, don't touch my fucking sister, bitch. You know, like, I love that relationship that they have. It's so beautifully crafted. The point is that we need more films like this, not because of money or entertainment, but we need more films like this because movies like this are going to infect and influence and condition a new generation of people. A movie that celebrates a culture that isn't American culture should be respected. A movie that has a predominantly black cast should be respected. We can learn a lot from film. We're conditioned mostly from movies and TV. I am just so proud of how this movie turned out, and I would give it an A+. If you're not seeing it, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I don't know what you're doing, but it was magical. It was everything I could have wanted from an MCU movie, and yeah, go see it, because this is real. This is serious. Like, I think that so many young kids are gonna be able to see themselves for the first time in a movie, and that's really powerful. That a movie can inspire so many young people, but also bring happiness to older people that had never seen anything like this before at the scale that it is. So go see it, and yeah, I'll see y'all later.